All right, we're live. Let's put some music behind. All right, welcome everyone to a new episode of the Women's Empowerment Series. I have with me a very, very special guest. I am so excited about today's discussion. I have with me a beautiful, world-renowned relationship coach and mentor, and just an amazing woman, Juliette Karaman. It's such an honor to have you today with me.
Thank you for having me, darling. It's an honor to be here. It's a pleasure.
So today we wanted to highlight your amazing work and talk about relationships, about intimacy, about how you spent several years mentoring thousands of women in their relationship with themselves and with the world. So tell us about you. How did it all come about?
Well, I'm a mother of 4.
We're the
And
same on that. This is how we
I
connect,
know, right?
maybe.
Isn't it fun? And then I was married to a Lebanese Palestinian. So my kids are Muslim, and I
Muslim and
spent about
Arabic.
four months a year in Lebanon. So multicultural. I'm Dutch. Um,
Mm.
but actually that's really important as well, right? Because when we are that, we have all these different identities and all these different personas that we can kind of play in, then that's really important. So my husband and I divorced, or I divorced him, let's say it that way,
Wow,
more than 10 years ago, and we are still best friends. So this is one of
that's
the
an
things that I actually
incredible
help
thing.
with. I help
Mm.
others to uncouple in a beautiful way. I was in Lebanon, I don't know, 2 weeks ago, and I talked to you, and we were hosting dinners together, and just actually really just being in a really good place, but we're just much better not married anymore. But it
Wow.
doesn't mean that you don't have to that you can't still love each other, and that you can't have an incredible relationship also for your kids.
Mm.
So what happened is, after we got
There's
divorced, hello, scrumptious ladies.
Hello.
Hello,
Hello,
Heather.
everyone. We have a lot of people joining us. Hi, let us know where you're connecting from. And if you have any question or anything for Juliette or myself, please let us know. Okay, so
Completely.
yes.
So after I divorced, hello,
Mhm,
Morocco.
mhm.
I got into another relationship. This man had 3 children, so we created a house with 7 children, 7 bedrooms, 8
Wow.
bedrooms, and 7 different schools. I mean, it was just mayhem. And I didn't really connect into myself so much. So I
Mm,
started fainting, and I spent 9 months in and out of hospital. So
wow.
that was the beginning of me really delving deep into this work. I had
Mm,
been already a Senko. 2 of my kids are dyslexic, so I
mm,
taught a lot on
mm,
children on the spectrum,
mhm,
and this had me look at the mind-body connection. I'd noticed things like, oh, how can our what's going on in our emotions, how can that
mhm,
actually affect our body? So
mm,
fast forward, this is what, more than 10 years ago now, 10, 15 years ago, I have been helping other women and couples with this, and really learning to become intimate with yourself and
mm.
learning to see what's in the way. Hey, we're having a beautiful life, and there's still this yearning for more. There's that yearning for, look at my nails,
Yes,
for
I know. I'm looking at your nails. It's
I
like
know, right? I'm looking at
when
myself
I
going, oh
show
my
you your
God, they're
nails, you're like,
funky.
maybe we're gonna have a crystal ball, and suddenly you'll be like, let me tell you what's in the store.
Who might know, right?
Who does exactly?
But that's the thing for me. It's every time I've always listened to my intuition. I've looked at the breadcrumbs, and I've actually went down that path.
So
So when I was leading
let me
this,
go back because you said so many amazing things about finding that little thing that comes from your relationship with yourself. And
Mhm.
that little thing, what is it? Why do we need, where do we get so lost into forgetting that the importance of our relationship with ourselves?
There's a lot of conditioning there, right? And
Mm,
then, I mean, I have a bit of um, background with the whole Arab world as well. So I kind of see it from a Dutch perspective and living in England, and then
Mhm.
also the Arab world, right?
Mhm.
Now
Yeah.
we are carried as women and as mothers, and yet at the same time are kind of expected to give and to give and to give
That's
and to hold and to, to
please.
nurture.
Yeah.
And yeah, every coach says this, you cannot give from an empty cup. But unless you actually learn what self-love and self-care is,
Mhm.
you don't
Mhm.
really know. And self-care for me, the biggest, and probably for most of my clients, 99% of the clients, the biggest key drop is boundaries and saying no.
Yeah.
When are you saying
Don't know
yes?
how to
When
say no.
actually it's no. And
But we
no is a
can't.
full sentence. And what does no feel like in
We
your
have
body?
Tunisia in the house also.
Love it. The whole Arab world as
Everybody's
well.
here. Nigeria is in the house. We are so connected. It's amazing.
I love it.
I love that. So why do you think? I mean, now that you touched several cultures, you know the different backgrounds. Why do they miss on telling us, take care of yourself first, care for yourself?
Mm.
Where is this missing?
Look at where did yeah, as a baby we're born, we're perfect, right? We know that we cry when we want to be fed, or when we want our nappies changed, or when we want to be held. We know exactly instinctively what to do. And then yeah, this up until the age of 2, we're like sponges. We just all the input that comes in, we just take that on like it's ours. And then
Yeah,
until the age of 6, we get in all the imprints from our parents and from society, from school. And all of a sudden, someone has looked at us in a certain way, and we interpret that as like, oh my God, I'm less than, or
mm.
I should overgive. For me, it was a pattern that, we're pattern makers, right?
Wow.
And once we can really start bringing some light to these patterns, then you can see, oh my God, I've done this all my life. For me, I remember I was probably around 4. I'm the youngest of 3 children. I was
Wow.
4, and remember I brought a little sketch I'd made, and we had it framed, and I brought that in for one of my teachers. And I just saw how much they loved, and they lit up, and I could see their energy. And at those days I was very empathetic, and I could feel and I could see the energy. And I just realized, it's like, oh, okay, so this is what I'm supposed to do. I'm supposed to give.
Right.
And
Right.
that's how it then
You get
gets coded
programmed
in.
that way. Yeah.
Yeah, it
Hello
gets
from Surya.
programmed.
Hi, Surya. Hi, Nahala. So we get really programmed in just giving. And so
Completely.
when we program to give, and we give looking for validation of something, right? Because that drawing, you got so many great things out of it. So it's like
That's
rewards,
it.
right?
And
Yeah.
it might not even be with words that you're like, oh my God, you're so lovely, you're so sweet, thank you so much. I mean, all of that, yes, great.
Yeah.
But when we're little, we can actually read that energy, and it's like people light up, and you're like, oh, that's good. Okay, so
Yeah.
that's my job. I'm here to light people up. And how
Yeah.
do I know this? Because, it lights them up, so I can feel good inside. So you start linking that feeling good
Feeling good
inside
inside.
because you've given.
Incredible. I love the way you explain it. So perfect. It is true. We connect our feeling good about with the how they, it's like we're a mirror. We reflect the others, the way they look at us. Um, and so that's why we can say no, because you can't handle the no. We can't.
No, and also we haven't been taught.
No.
Yeah,
Yeah.
when as little itty bitties, when you had an uncle or an aunt that would come, and you really didn't feel like kissing them, you didn't feel like giving them a hug, and your mommy was like, "Come on." Me as a mom, I know what I've done as well. I'm like, "Ooh, okay,
Yeah. Now you look
right,"
back.
and you're like,
Yeah.
"Ooh." But we knew that instinctively. It's like, no, no, there's something about their energy. I just don't want to go and give them a kiss. But as our mothers or parents or grandparents said, come on, go give auntie a kiss. And
Yeah.
that's what you do. So you start overriding that own intuition.
We do, yeah. So when do women, I mean, you worked with thousands of women, right? So what did you see the pattern? When do they just like one day wake up, it's like it's enough? When did it happen? Yeah.
Well, The pity is
That
that
question.
a lot of us have to get to a point that it's like either burnout or so tired or hitting rock bottom
Eh,
or yeah, exploding something. Something has to give
hmm.
for there to be change.
Something, yeah. And do we really, so like, even if we keep on having these conversations and really awakening people, do they really need to touch the
No.
rock bottom?
No. That's really that's what I love seeing now.
Mm,
More and more younger women and younger couples are actually coming to me and saying, "Hey, yeah, they're waking up that this is not the only way of life and that they don't want to live this disconnected from their bodies, from their minds, from their spirit, from everything,
mhm.
and that they want more." And they're realizing it's like, oh, we don't have to wait until we're in our 30s or our 40s or our 50s or 60s even
That's true.
to move on, but it's like we want more of this now. And I've noticed, especially with my kids and their friends,
Yeah,
I've done a few workshops for their friends,
good.
that they're like, my twins are 22, and then they've got a whole group around that age, and they're actually really starting to be very conscious. They're
Wow.
conscious about their food, they're conscious about who they hang out with. A lot of them are actually choosing conscious sobriety, so they don't drink, they don't do drugs, they don't do anything, and really are very conscious about what their connection to God, spirit, whatever you want to
Mm.
call it is.
Values. So they are like really back to the anchored with values. I
Yeah,
think this is incredible.
isn't it? And great, like teaching us about recycling. I mean, I've always taught
Yeah,
my
that's
kids,
right.
but now they're like, "No, mommy, you're doing that wrong." I'm like, "Oh, okay, thank you."
Okay.
Oh, I get
So it's
ticked
like
on.
that's a lot of climate change awareness and caring about the planet.
Isn't it
Yeah.
great?
It
Yeah,
is great. So there is like an awakening happening that
completely.
you get to take care of the planet, of your body, of yourself, and
Yeah, I
and
see
yes,
it. Do you see it as well?
I
You've got
do.
4 kids.
Yeah, I do. I mean, my kids are younger than yours because they're still between 6 and 16. But I see them. It's cute. It's little cute ages. But I see them, more aware about the planet, more aware about being nice to people. Um,
Mm,
and I see that's like there is more love and empathy, and I hope that this new generation will have more of that, but I want to
completely.
see it more for themselves as well. So that's really teaching them that they are valued, and this is why it's important to follow the children, because they could be bullied at work, at school, and they don't know it. And so this is why this works, like watching you, their mom, be doing that, they will be doing that. And the same, my children, they listen to me, they kind of live with
Right.
what I talk about. Yeah.
But I've also seen in the UK especially, I've
Yeah.
seen a real change the last 10 years. I mean, I used to work in private schools and teach kids with autism and dyslexia, dyspraxia on the spectrum.
Mhm.
And I really see where they've pulled in mindfulness and meditation, and they're talking about their emotions and what's not so much
Mm.
about what's happening in the body sensations, but they're bringing in yoga. But they're starting to develop a little bit of language, a little bit of vocabulary. It's like, oh, what's happening? What am I feeling? There's a tightness in my chest.
That's
Oh,
incredible.
cool.
We didn't
What's
have that
going
before.
on there?
We were
No,
not
and
supposed to
it's
feel.
really, this is new,
Feel.
and wow, I mean, I've seen the change, and it's
Mm.
really created, yeah, a generation of much more open
And connected to their feelings.
little young humans.
Yeah, they are. Yeah, and it's incredible because we didn't have that in our generation growing up. It was like
Yeah.
it's almost we were numb, and it's just you don't talk about feelings. It's not something that you can ever bring to the table. You have to supposed to be, look as masculine as you could and just, be that way. Yeah.
Right, and any emotions, you just kinda, like, shove under the carpet, and then you'd go lock yourself in the bathroom and cry, and then come out, and, you're all perfect again.
That's right. Like nothing had happened. And even the stories that we read, right? The books, it was like all about hiding the emotions and suffer and just like
Mhm.
show that nothing is there.
And the funny thing is my company, my brand is called Feel Fully You, right? So it's like,
Feel
you're
for
gonna
you, feeling full you. Yeah, fully
feel
you.
fully you.
How
And
did you,
I
why did you
started
choose that?
that
Mm.
after my sister passed away.
Oh, I'm sorry.
So my sister passed away 5 years ago, and
They're the girls.
then a year later, my father and then my mother committed euthanasia. So I had to kind of like
Oh,
jump through hoops and be there for them and also
oh,
help them pass over. So I was there douulaing them over the last few months, which is a heavy topic, but at the same time, it's when you allow yourself to become so intimate with grief and so intimate with your own emotions that
yeah.
you wear them on your sleeve, you wear them, as you are. It helped others see what a journey through grief is. And I was
Mm,
teaching in the middle of it all, and I would actually just warn people and saying, "Hey, I'm grieving, and you don't have to caretake me, but I just want to make sure that you understand that if
mm.
I'm having dinner with you, I absolutely love you, but sometimes,
You just can't.
tears might just come and I'll cry and I'll laugh everything and all at once."
Mm,
It's like, wow, you have access to all those feelings. I'm like, yeah,
wow.
because I know I've numbed them for so long, but that meant I didn't have access to the things that were unhappy feelings, say.
Mm.
But it meant I also didn't have access to the like massively ecstatic
It
things.
is.
So
Yeah. Let me grab one comment here. Grief is so beautiful and such a deep reminder that we are all ultimately love.
yeah,
How do
mashallah.
you bring that?
Absolutely.
How do you bring that the love part into all the work that you do?
Aren't we all? Just
Love
love.
that we are.
And isn't everything that we are actually searching for? Isn't it all like we feel that we're unlovable, we're too much, we're not enough, but it all boils down to like we don't feel that we're either lovable or that we are loved,
Wow.
which is kind
Wow.
of the same, right? If you look at all the questions, right? It always comes
It
down.
all comes down to love. It's like it's
Yeah.
always come down to our deserver or not of
Mhm.
being loved. That's so true.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's how you said feeling fully you is the medicine. So you bring the medicine because of your own experience, isn't it?
Because of my own experience, that's definitely part of it. And then all the modalities that I've learned and teach. And it's I think we become like such a beautiful like mixture of
Yeah.
pieces that we pick up here, left, right, and center, and things that we also make our own, right? Because that's one of the what Bruce Lee said. It's like, take what resonates with you and then just make it your own and discard the things that don't work for you.
Yeah.
And isn't this, if you look at all the spiritual teaching, if you look at pretty much most of the teaching, it's
Mm.
not brand new. It's been tweaked a little bit until it suits the person.
That's right. That's right. We have a lot of love coming your way as well. Nice to see
Thank
you,
you.
Nabila. Yeah, so this is amazing and beautiful, and I love it. Just so soothing. Just having this conversation, it feels like we can feel the love around. I want to ask you about the grief, and you mentioned about the grief and the cycle of grief, and how honoring and allowing the feelings to come. Through your experience, how long is that cycle usually? What do you
It's so
think?
different for everyone.
Mhm.
I A few of my clients have had children that committed suicide. So
Mhm.
because I can feel a lot, I attract the deep feelers, or I attract the people that have a lot of grief. One of my clients had to sacrifice one of her babies in a cult, so
Mm.
it's the really deep stuff.
Mm.
And for me, the thing is, because I feel so much, I empathize with them, so I have to make sure that I stay clean. No,
Yeah, so
after
that
that
you can
session, I'm
stay,
like,
you
I don't
protect
take it
your
all on,
energy.
right?
Yeah, because you need
Because
to protect your energy. That's
yeah.
right. Yeah.
But like people will say things like time will heal all wounds. And it's
Yeah.
like, do
Is
we
it true?
actually want these wounds to even be healed, or do we want to just feel them
And
and
process
you
them.
learn how to live with them? What happens
Mhm.
is you can let go of the charge that you have with it, the
Yeah.
emotional charge, the stuff that keeps you stuck.
Like
That's
when you
like,
say trash, explain it more to everyone. Does it like what does it mean? It's like
so
you feel
charge, it's like if we look at the world of duality that we live in,
okay.
right? Good and bad,
Yeah.
white and black,
Yeah.
rich and poor. So
Mhm.
often we have one side that we're pulled towards and the other
Yes.
one that we repel against. So that's what I call charge. So you're not neutral. You're not, so you're always pulled to one direction
To
or
one
you're
direction or the
repelled.
other.
And
Wow.
once you can, and so that's the emotional charge that's with it, right? And then also when you think about maybe someone cutting you off in traffic, you're like, "Ugh," that's some
You
emotional
triggered.
charge you still have.
It
That's a
triggers you.
trigger. Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
But then if you can get rid of that trigger, that because the
Okay.
trigger triggers the emotional charge. So once you
Yeah.
can get rid of that emotional charge, which is what you do by duplicating an experience, by feeling it again, by experiencing it
Wow. By
totally,
attracting it into your life, you mean, again?
by feeling it fully, by actually allowing yourself to feel it. So feel that rage that you have for someone that pulled out in front of you. When you allow yourself to do that, and then just like think the thought, what is like, you know? And then it's like, what's happening in your body? What's the body
Like
sensation?
you're watching yourself having these thoughts and these feelings. Yeah.
You actually allow yourself to experience them. And then when you experience them, you move through them. You come a level higher. And that's like, oh, there's another level that comes up.
I love
What's
that.
up now? And that's how you get through things. And that's how you clear the mind of all this emotional stuff that's holding you back.
And this is, I mean, I call it elevation. So you elevate. And I love the way you did it, because it's like, it is an elevation,
Like a
isn't it?
fire.
That's
Right?
incredible.
You'll see a lot of infinity signs in mine.
Yes.
And everything, because we go up and then we go down a little bit and we go up and
But
down
you
a little bit.
elevate somehow. So like every experience helps you elevate because you become wiser. Because when you feel the
Well,
emotion,
not everyone becomes wiser, right? Let's be honest. Some people stay stuck in the same pattern again and
They
again
do.
and again. And I see myself where I've been stuck in something. So I'm like, whoa, okay. Might not be stuck, but it comes back again. I'm like, oh, there it is. Hello. And then I recognize and I pop back out of it. But no, so if you really allow yourself to feel, so any experience is made up out of an image, a thought, a body sensation, and an emotion.
I love that. That's beautiful said.
Those 4 elements, if you really boil it down to like the last,
it is. Yeah.
And then if you allow yourself to experience them fully, then you're left with no charge. So like the duality, if you allow yourself to feel what being rich feels like and what being poor feels like. And when you feel both of those, at one point it just merges and you're like, oh, neither of them have
good
charge.
anyway.
I now just have
just me.
choice. It's just me, and it's you're back to this place of no space, of no time, nothing.
It's beautiful. And that's the ultimate enlightenment, where you're not charged with nothing.
Yeah.
That's a lot of deep work that is necessary to be able to reach that. Oh my God.
Well, I don't know if everyone goes through this
easy,
before.
you know, it's like you're looking at your fingers doing this. I'm like, I can do it. It's just easy.
But it's interesting, right? Because I remember when I went deep into this work, all of a sudden I remembered my rape that I had just shoved under the carpet. My mind and my psyche could not handle it when I was 18.
Wow.
So only when I was 40 or so, by getting flogged on my back, because I was in this class of learning about sexuality, that I feel that something was coming up. I'm like, oh my God, okay, can you flog harder? I need something here. Wow. And that just got me into these static states. And then the memories came rushing through, etc. And I shivered and I shook like an animal does, right, to complete the trauma cycle. But I got it out of my system. Wow. And even before I knew how this all worked, I knew that I had to reenact it. So I knew I had to duplicate it. So I went back to the UK, found myself a dom and 5 guys. I'm like, can we reenact it, but give it a different ending? And that's how duplication basically works. You duplicate, you go through it. And then you get free.
Profound. Oh my God. Juliette,
so I don't take people through exactly that.
No,
they don't have to do it quite as intense. There's a way of reaching that state much easier.
But it's incredible, because I had no idea on the magnitude of things when you talk about duplication, because it's really deep and profound, and it takes someone like you that is, so knowledgeable and, have studied all that to be able to talk about it with so much ease, and it's okay, like without shocking and feeling shocked. But it's that's why a lot of people prefer to just numb all the emotions and just let them hide.
Yeah, and it's uncomfortable.
It
To
is.
feel this much is
It is.
uncomfortable. Yeah, I can't always watch all the movies anymore when there's a lot of violence. I'm like,
No, same here. You know what?
I
It's
used to
me
love
too.
these movies, not
It's
anymore.
similar. It's incredible. It's the same for me too. I don't. Yeah,
Yeah.
we
Yeah,
don't
I
because
cry a lot, I have like happy tears or other tears, but it's really it's allowing yourself those emotions. It's allowing yourself to be seen
it's
in
allowing
all
yourself
your
to be
vulnerability.
alive, Juliette.
Yeah.
Simply, it's just allowing yourself to be alive.
Mhm.
And you feel alive when you feel emotions. You feel
Completely.
alive. Yeah. Otherwise, you do not. And you keep on looking for things to make up for it, but it's never the right thing.
That's it.
This
We look outside of ourselves for
is
things to improve, and maybe we lose a bit more weight, or we have a different husband, or we get to buy a new house, or a boat, or a new watch, or whatever. And we've all tried it probably. And then it's like, oh, let's shine the light
incredible,
inside of
dude.
me.
It's so true. We go look for things outside.
Yeah.
Well, everything happens inside. It feels so cliche. And the funny part is that I'm an engineer, so I'm like a very scientific and logic
Mhm.
mind, all structured. And suddenly now I find myself talking about, connecting with your emotions with the force of life. But it's so true. And that's what makes a difference in everything, even in business, in professional leadership, and in life, and in success, and in everything.
Well, don't we all search to be seen, heard, understood, and
Yeah.
ultimately loved?
It is
Mm.
love. Actually, at the end of the day, that's what it is, frankly. It
Right?
is.
And you can love yourself, and if you really start loving yourself and start taking care of yourself, then your body works better, then your relationships will work better because you're just like
Your body works better. Simple.
everything is just more fun, your life becomes more fun. You're not such a workaholic. You just actually realize it's like, oh my God, everything is so cool in my life. And even the things that are hard, they still teach me beautiful things.
Do. They really do. And it's like this is where you say there is beauty in the toughest and the suffering, because you can draw things from them. Yeah.
Yeah.
This is incredible. I think you are an incredible woman. It's just you radiate that energy of just feel good. And it's like,
I
let's
call it
just
scrumptiousness. Yeah, that's my word. It's that energy, and it's that actually it's that life force, that chi that runs
it is
through
like
us. And often it's I mean, if we're talking about it, it's often sexual energy, but that we don't have access to, or that
Mhm.
is very taboo. So I
Yeah,
just
I was going to say
it's
it's
really
like
taboo. People are like, no, are you crazy? Yeah, but it's like, but
no, no,
actually
we're
that
not
is
going
the
to that
life force.
direction. But
But
that's what it
that's
is.
it, right? Money, sex, and power. Those are the three things that, are massively taboo.
They are taboo. That's true. Of the
Yeah,
three of them are taboo, and the three of them come from the same source, which is the source of life.
completely. And that's like, but that's the funny thing, right? I try to teach people about sexual education, especially here
Mm.
in the UK. I remember moving here from Geneva, from Switzerland, and I had my twin daughters here, my boys in Switzerland. So I asked Karim, my husband's cousin, I said, "So what do you call vagina?" And they're like, "Front bottom." I'm like, "Front bottom? What's that?" Like, what do you call your butt? I'm like, "Well,
Okay,
bottom." I was like,
all
"Okay,
right.
this is really confusing."
This is like we've never gone to that direction in this woman empowerment series, but hey, why not? It's like it's an open
But
conversation.
there is such a way that we can be open about it, right? What do
I
we
guess
teach our children to, like, oh my God, like, I can't talk about my period because my
yeah,
brothers might hear. It's
yeah,
like
that's true.
it's natural, it's
But it's
life.
natural.
It's what we came from. So
It is Exactly. Well, this has been incredible. I think we can stay for hours talking about this. Okay, we have a comment, so let's bring that. Nabila said something like many women reach these conclusions, not necessarily practicing perfectly though. The question is, how can we teach younger women to embrace their truth, emotions, and use it as source of power?
Feel and practice. I mean, one of the things I teach my clients is to set a timer set your phone on a timer twice a day for 90 seconds. All right. Every single one of you has 3 minutes during a day. And just take a breath, put your phone away, close your eyes, take a breath in through your nose and out through your mouth. And again, in through your nose, out through your mouth, and then just focus on your body and pick one part and notice what's going on in your body. Is there a temperature there? What sensations are going on? Is it static? Is it still? Is it wobbly? Is it soft? Is it hard? Really give some characteristics to that part. Then does that bring up any emotions? Does it bring up an image, a thought? And once you allow yourself to experience those, the monkey mind has stopped a little bit. And there might be a new layer of it. And again, you go same thing, image, thought, body sensation, emotion. And then after 90 seconds, you're like, oh, okay, I'm here. I'm actually present. You bring awareness to what's happening right now.
I love that. This is beautiful. Thank you so much, Juliette. What a special, special time we spent together. And thank you for this advice at the end, because if we just few seconds reconnect you with the energy of feminine energetics and the force of it. Thank you so much for your beautiful presence today and for all these nuggets that you shared with everyone and with all of us.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much. Sending all the love to everyone. Bye-bye, everyone.